Hello everyone, it is I, Glasses of Doom, your favorite Doom character who just happens to be wearing glasses, and today I'm going to be starting my modding series. Um, the reason that I'm actually starting this series is for a simple reason. I am, in all honesty, quite new to modding in Minecraft, and I find that I do a lot better by teaching it. So another thing that you should probably note is that this modding series, my modding environment, is completely based off of the one in is completely based off the one that Pahimar shows in his Let's Mod series. In fact, I completely urge you to watch his series, to watch VWSE's series. This series is just for me to help learn more, and hopefully to help teach other people about Minecraft modding. The series will be on GitHub. In fact, I'll put a link to this series will be put on to GitHub. Another thing that you should probably know is I am currently working on another mod for Minecraft right now called Science and Magic. Called Science and Magic. So just another thing I thought you might want to know. What else? What else? Oh, also, I will be teaching this series a little bit different from other series that I've seen. In fact, I will not actually be going into these with, I shouldn't say any sort of plan, because I do have a plan for most episodes, or for actually all episodes, really. But I will not be going into every episode saying, oh, I will not be going into a series like, oh, this episode we're going to be doing blocks, ingots, blah, blah, blah. It'll really just be me doing, oh, I've learned this, let me show you how it's done. And then if anyone out there is watching this and they think they found a better way to do it, please contact me. I am completely willing to do updates to the series if there are any better. I completely love constructive criticism. Please note that I said constructive. Please don't be one of those people who say, "Ooh, you suck." It's just that doesn't make me want to make this series. It's just not constructive at all. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to make the main class for the mods. So we are going to do this. We're going to name this class Glass Tut Main. So you'll see right here that I'm using this in the default package. We don't want to use the default package. I'm not going to explain why we don't want the default package. We just don't. So we are going to do it this way. We're going to create a package that is, I can't remember the exact word right now, but Oracle standards. So I'm going to use my URL, us.samcraft. us.samcraft.glasstut. Now, if I really wanted to, I could also make another package, and this package, I'm not going to use this one. I could also do it in a different way. Now, this is a different. Okay, 1 second. This is different from the other way that I'm showing you, because it's a different way that you can package. So that we can do the same thing. So glass tut main. Not main. There we go. And then we could actually do it. Glasses of Doom. .mods. .glass tut. That's just a different way we could do it. I just want to use my domain name. I'm paying for it, so why the hell not? So now we need to tell Forge Mod Loader that we are actually loading a mod. I just like to do this personally. I just usually hit enter once. We do @mod. This right here, @mod is telling Forge Mod Loader that we're loading a mod. Then you do import or Control-Shift-0 if I remember correctly. Then you add missing attributes. That's mod ID. Then I do comma, not period, comma, name, comma, no, not comma, back, name equals, comma, and version, comma, version equals. And just because my OCD makes me do this, Again, this is completely by choice. You don't have to do it that way. I'm not gonna do the network mod right now. How to make it to a network mod right now, because it's currently out of the confines of what we're doing. And then I actually do change this up a little bit more after this, and I'll show you now. I'll not show you right now. I'll show you a little bit later. Now we need to do the @reference. Now we need to do the @instance mod. Not @instance mod. Never @instance. Why did I put a V? I can't spell today. One second. Let me just do something. Copy. It's just one of those days. @instance. And see, it actually imported @instance. In fact, but I'll show you. I'll delete this import right now to show you, to make a point real fast. And then you see @instance. Now you do parentheses. No, you do parentheses, and then you put in the mod ID, which is going to, in the mod ID, I'm going to call it glass tut. The name of the mod is going to be glass tut, and the version of the mod is going to be 0.0.1. So the mod ID of this mod is, the mod ID is glass tut, so we do the same thing right here, glass tut. And then we do public static glass tut main instance in parentheses. See right here, and you see how it's airing out. You can either do import, or you can do Control-Shift-0, or is it? Oh, Control-Shift-O. There we go. Control-Shift-O, not 0. Control-Shift-O. Don't know why I said 0. I can't exactly remember why it goes like this. I really can't. I just remember that it's kind of important. I believe it's in case you actually want to register multiple mods within the same, and not have to register multiple mods within the same thing. Because just because this is right here doesn't mean that you can't have several different mods. So let's say I wanted to do world generation mod. All my world generation would be handled by, let's say, glass tut world gen, and then I had glass world tech. And correct me if I'm wrong, you can actually create 2 different main classes, and it's just so that way you can reference it within the same area. I can't remember if that's true or not. Correct me if I'm wrong. I beg you to correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's why it is. I think I'm wrong. Yeah. So then, now we're going to actually make the, add the event handlers. So @event handler. And I need to capitalize event handler. @event handler, we're going to do public void pre-init parentheses fml pre. I can't spell right now, so I'm just going to copy and paste it over. Copy. Fml pre initialization event, and then brackets. So we import event handler, we import fml event handler, and then we do @event handler public void init parentheses fml initialization event, import. The reason I'm not doing Control-Shift-0 is because I personally don't use it that much. I it's a little bit of a control issue with mine. Could be the OCD, I don't know. Event handler, and void. Post init. Parentheses. FML post initialization event. I'm just copying these over because I mod, and yet I'm one of the excessively slow typers, and I can't spell a lot of the times, and you'll see that later on in the series. Now, this is right here is where we're going to actually register the first. So right now we've gotten everything we need to start making the mod. I'm not going to show you how to make the mc.modinfo right now. It's just I'm not going to at this exact moment. I'm going to show you. The first thing I want to do is actually show you how to make a creative tab. The reason I want to show you how to make a creative tab instead of a one second, I'm going into my other directory real fast. The reason I don't want to show you how to do the reason I want to show you how to do a creative tab is because this is where I'm going to store all of my items for this mod. I might even make more items. The reason I do it that way is because I personally find it annoying to have to search through my items through vanilla crafting through vanilla tabs. Again, it's just one of my weird idiosyncrasies. So, one second, I just have to pull something up. Okay. But to prove to you that this right here is a mod, it will work. I just need to save this. I will need to go into my round configurations. I am going to duplicate that client mods glass tut. I am going to quickly remove, add projects, glass tut. Just do that real fast. There we go. Apply. There. To prove that this is a mod and it will work, just do that. Run real fast. See, right now I have 4 mods loaded. Glass tut mod. See, it's loaded. It just doesn't have anything working on it. And there, we made a mod. Now, a second. Another bit of my OCD popping back in there. Okay. So right now we've successfully made a mod. Now as I said before, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a what's the word? A creative tab. But let's do it this way. Okay. Now, before we make the creative tab, I want to show you, before we actually get into the code for the creative tab, I'm going to actually change these to references. I'm going to make a reference class so I can reference my names, my versions, and my mod ID. The reason I want to do this is because there are a lot of times in a mod where you want to actually reference its mod ID or name a lot of times. And it's just, I personally get really annoyed, and it annoys me to have to constantly type out everything. So I like to make a class called not a class, I like to make a class called reference. Reference, hopefully I spelled it right, R-E-N-F. Yeah, I think I spelled it right. Reference, and I like to store it in a lib package. So, and inside my lib package, I have a, one second, I need to do one thing. Inside my lib package, I hold all of the names of my, all the static names. Well, not all my static names. I have a names class completely dedicated to that. So, names class completely dedicated to that. So inside the reference file, we are going to start referencing all of the important information for the thing of the mod. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to reference the mod ID. So public static. Second, I'm just going to do this real fast. It's bugs me to no end if I don't do that. Public static string mod ID equals quote, and it was glass tut. Now we're going to make public static string mod underscore name equals glass tut. Now we're going to do the version public actually I'm going to do it this way, public. Oh, by the way, make sure you don't capitalize things stupidly like I just did. String MC version, MC underscore version equals 1.6.4 enter. And public static string mod version equals and then MC version plus quotation marks dash plus version plus this 1.6 point, no, god damn it, 0.0.1. Save. Oh wait, semicolon. Save. I fuck up? Oh. Maybe because I can't spell. Copy. Paste. There we go. And there we go. What this does, right, and now what we're going to do is we are going to change the mod ID to reference dot. This I can't spell right now. Reference dot mod ID oh, something that I forgot to do, and make sure you do this, you need to put final right here. I forgot to do that. That's why I was getting an error. There we go. Now it should, you see, no more errors. And I'm just going to do this for the sake of time. Copy. Paste. Dot. Mod name. And then rid of this completely. Reference. paste dot mod version. In fact, actually, you can actually change this instead of public, you can make it private. In fact, I would recommend that you make it private, so that way you don't get unnecessarily clumped up stuff. See, it still works. Now, the reason that I do that is so that way I don't actually have to type things out 40 million times. So that way I don't have to type out glass tut. I meant to show that to you early before I said we were going to get started on creative tabs, but you'll see in a second why I do that for creative tabs. So now we need to change this to reference dot, let's get rid of that, reference dot mod ID. This stays the same, you can't do anything about that. So now that that's been made, we can now get started on making our creative tabs. Now I'm going to do this the same way. Another thing I should quickly note is that in this tutorial series, I'm not going to be putting everything into this class. I just hate that. It bugs me when I see that, so I'm going to make subclasses for a lot of things. Subclasses and make packages for a lot of things, because it bugs me to no end when I see that. So I'm going to make a new package for my creative tabs called package creative tab. Make a new class. Actually, I'll make the new class in a second. Now that I've made the creative tabs class, I want to make a class for my creative tabs. So the first thing I need to do is, okay, one second. Be right back. I need to get a drink of water. Hello everyone, I am back. I went to go get some water. Good, and sorry about getting a little tongue twisted at the end. I just need to get something to drink. So now that we finished that, you should be noticing that I've actually changed my reference thing up a little bit. That's because I started it and I realized, hey, that looks a little bit weird and confusing. So I just changed it up a little bit. I have added version -v my mod ID. The reason I did that was because 1.64 version 1.6. It just shows what version of Minecraft it's for. You can also make it so that way it won't load without a certain Minecraft version. I'll show you how to do that later. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to create a creative tabs class. Now, first thing we need to do is we need to go see where it says at instance. We need to go down there. What did I just do? Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to do public static creative tabs, and I'm going to call it tab glass, and then we are going to do equals new, and then I am just going to, just to make sure I type it out right, and I should type it out right, but just to make sure, copy, I'm going to paste it right here, creative tabs glass tab, and then I'm going to call this reference. Then I'm going to do reference dot mod name, and I should be getting an error for right here. I just do import, and here is a little bit more tricky. The reason that this is tricky is well, actually no. Now it gets a little bit more tricky. I had to import this. The reason this gets tricky is because it wants me to create a constructor, tab glass. It wants me to change this constructor to creative tabs, glass tabs. But we don't want that, so I'm going to undo that. We want it to stay in creative tabs. So what we're going to do is we are going to do creative tabs, and then to get rid of that error, we do extends creative tabs, we do extends creative tabs, we import creative tabs, Then we need to add constructor string. And there we go. Now save this. We should, now if I remember right, we should have a creative tab that works. Another sip of water. And here we go. Item group glass tut. We don't want that. First of all, first thing I'm going to show you is how to change the icon. Just 1 second. Go back here. Don't do what I just did. Not sure whether I stopped it through here or not. Oh, I pressed X. That doesn't matter. It just won't save your settings. I shouldn't have said don't do that. It still works. Just gonna put that up real fast. Now 1 second. I need to. Damn. Look at my notes. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to go under here. I'm going to do at side only, parentheses, side dot client. The reason that we do this is because the server doesn't understand block icons. So the server has no need to see the server icon. Not the server, to see the icon for the block. I'll show you how to do this with custom icons later. I just need to, I'm just going to show you how to do it with vanilla for right now. And then we're going to do public static no, not public static, public int. I'm sorry, because it looks up the thing, because it looks up the icon by block ID, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Return get tab icon item index parentheses. Why is it saying I didn't import? 1 second, I'm going to just copy it over for a second because I'm not sure why that didn't work. Oh, because I spelled a lot of things wrong in there. That's why, and then I do return. Return. I just can't spell today. Return and 1 second. Public, god damn it, int. There we go. There we go. As I told you before, this actually looks things up by block ID. So that way, let's say that your block changes. Not your block changes. Let's say that your icon changes, and I'll show you what I mean once I get into the concept of block IDs in a later tutorial. But it's so that way your icon doesn't change, because you register your icons to a block, and then your blocks are called by item ID in the world. And the reason that you call the item ID is in case you change it, it doesn't change the block. The only ones that you can really be safe about that are changing are the blocks that are in vanilla Minecraft, and I need to see the block ID for, well, I should just be able to do this, block block. Because I should be able to do this way, dot glass. Okay, 1 second. I'm just going to do it this way. can't remember the block ID for glass. So they don't store their block IDs right here. Do they? Yes, they do. Okay. Let's just find glass. Glass's block ID is 20. So, I'll show you. It's doing it by block ID, so I can just do it by 20, and it should work. Now let's run this. See, now we have the item icon of glass. So nothing's in there yet because I haven't stored anything yet, but eventually something will be. So now that we got that work, now we need to actually get the now we need to get it to read it so that way it doesn't actually get that item groups tabs thing. Now, before I tell you that, I need to tell you why it, as I said why it didn't work when I did that later. The reason that didn't work was because I was relying on another method that I used to call my block IDs, when in all reality you can just type it in like this. The reason I did it that way was because I forgot that, because I'm so used to doing it a different way than, the way that I just showed you, mainly because it's, because of block IDs and the concept of configs, and I'll tell you about configs once I get into block IDs and item IDs, and I'll show you why that would work otherwise. But just for now, just realize that this only works because of the block ID right here. So 1 second, I need to get something. Okay. I have. Okay. Okay. So as I said before, so once you get the block ID of the item icon that you want to use, and I'll show you how to change it to a custom item icon in a later tutorial, probably next tutorial. Yeah, most definitely next tutorial. Once you set the block ID of the item that you want, you can just close out of this. You're set. So the next thing we need to do is we need to actually register it, because if you notice, as I said earlier, you actually get a thing that says items groups dot glass tut. Now we don't want that. We actually want to change that to something else. So what we're going to do is I am going to create a I'm going to actually create a Creative Tabs language registry. The language registry, I can't explain things right now. The language registry is what allows us to read it without getting those weird things. So I'm just going to call this, just going to do that, and I'm going to make a method called, I'll call this langreg. Actually, I'll call it tab langreg. Parentheses. No. Stupid mistake. Stupid mistake. Then create method. Water. Okay. So now we need to actually go into there. Now we need to actually register it. So we actually would do is we're going to register it in the language registry by doing language. Damn. Language. Oh, 1 second. I need to move something. There we go. Lang registry. Language registry dot instance dot add string localization, and then we're going to do item group dot reference oh, one second, I need to item group. One second, I can comment that out for a second. I don't remember exactly what the item group was. Items group glass tut. Comma, and then we're going to do it. Glass tut, and we're going to call that en underscore capital US underscore US, comma, reference dot mod name. Save. Now if all goes according to plan, it's interesting. Let me try something else real fast. String dot add at localization at instance. Maybe it's because glass tut needs to be capitalized. Shit. Kill that. Still the wrong one. There we go. I just didn't capitalize it right. So now we have it named glass tut. So now we have our special creative tabs that we can use for all of our own stuff. So a quick overview of what we learned today. Sorry if it was a little bit hard to follow. I will try and change that with my other tutorials. We created a second. No. We created a mod, and I showed you that you can create a mod and yet have it do absolutely nothing. And I showed you how to make a creative tabs. So in order to make a creative tabs, you do public static creative tabs, tab whatever you want the thing to be. I'll show you why you do this in a second. Well, not in a second, in my next tutorial. Then you do equals new, then you name it, the name of the class that you do creative tabs in. The reason that I did it this way, that I did the creative tabs, is because in case you do multiple tabs, so let's say that in science, let's say that in a mod, let's call it the tool, the armor tools mod, the armor tool parts mod, or whatever you call it. Let's say that in order to make the tools, you need to use parts. So then you have a parts creative tab where you store all of your parts. It's the same concepts for why vanilla has multiple tabs. Since in case it's just too much stuff to all have in one tab. So you just do that. You name it whatever you want. Creative tabs. Then you reference bounty. Then you go into the creative tabs class, and then you do extends creative tabs, public creative tabs, whatever you want the creative tabs class name to be. String.label, super.label. At site only, because you only want the client side. You want the client to read it. The server has no need to know what the texture is for it. Because and then you do public int get tab icon item index return block ID. It has to be the block ID of the block. So let's say I want it to be stone. I change that to 1, I believe. If I change that to 1, it should be the block ID to stone. I'll check it out because I can't exactly remember if stone's block ID is that. Still, that is one of the weirdest bugs I've ever seen in Minecraft. See? It's stone. You can literally change it to whatever you want. 30. Change that. I'm not sure if I can change that in debug mode. In fact, I'll test that out right now. I don't think I can. That would be awesome. But I think it'll complain at me. See? I'm actually going to test something to see if it complains at me. No, it works. It's actually surprising. So I can actually change that dynamically? Cool, I'm going to actually do that right now. Let's try 16. Control S. Nope, okay. Oh, it's because it's such a large file. That's why. Let's just save it. Crashed it. Nah. Yep, I crashed it because I typed in S. Don't do that. Anyway, that was just me doing some stuff that I really shouldn't have been doing. Anyway. No, that was just me playing around. So remember the block ID, and then you need to actually reference its name so that way it doesn't give you weird things, and make sure it's spelled right, otherwise it won't work. So I made a small method called language registry, which I am actually going to cut and move into here. Which it won't let me do. I didn't undo. Yeah, which it won't let me do. Oh well. Don't care. It still works. So that's about it. That is how to do that. Sorry it took 40 minutes. I was not expecting that. So hopefully you understand how to make creative tabs, and my next tutorial I will show you how to make a basic block. This is Glasses of Doom signing out.